loud. And appreciate a few of you joining us today. And I know January is probably a tough month to set aside some time on Friday. So for those of you who are watching as a recording, this all works way better if there's a lot of people on our fan club. We'll try to do a better job of maybe getting the word out or making the topics stimulating. I think today's going to be pretty good. We're going to talk about handling objections, a couple of the more common ones that agents face. So hopefully we'll have some spirited interaction and role play, put some people on the spot. Yesterday when I was doing this in my office, we had people disrobing their sweaters and stuff because they got so hot immediately just doing the role play. They were like, I'm nervous. So we'll see. I mean, Nate's already set. He's in short sleeves, so he won't have to worry about it, but others of us might have to cool off a bit. Anyway, here's how we're going to start today. Hi, Marian. Nice to have you. Hi, iPhone 2, otherwise known as, well, I don't know. Oh, Elizabeth. Hi, Christi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And Shawnee and Daisha. Now we're getting a little bit more rounded out. So good to have everybody. I won't repeat my preamble because it was more amble and not much pre. Anyway, before we get into objection handlings, I wanted everyone to see the brand new Coldwell Banker ad that just came out. I think a few of you saw it in one of the meetings here in Sun Valley, and I can't remember where else, but someone else showed it. But it's really cool. It's 80 seconds, and it's a lot of fun, and it's something you can use maybe as an agent. It's more of a recruiting ad, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna share my screen. This will only take a minute or two, and we'll all watch this video together. But the first thing I want to show you is that Coldwell Banker Real Estate has its own YouTube page, and it's the most visited real estate YouTube page in the industry, and there's a reason for it. It's filled with lots and lots of fun stuff. And coming from another company that didn't value this type of creativity and this type of like engagement and interaction, I love all the stuff that Coldwell Banker puts out. And not all of it is useful all the time, but there's a lot there. And if you're ever wondering, what can I send someone that is exciting? Coldwell Banker generates a lot of fun stuff. So subscribe to their channel if you want. Just type in Coldwell Banker Real Estate channel and you'll get to it. And it's definitely worth it. But here is the ad that just came out this week. And hopefully this will work for everybody. Play. Is it going to work? Yeah.
Blue. There's no color in the history of color that is better than blue. Statistically speaking, blue is a favorite color across the world, defeating green easily and squashing red like a ripe red tomato. Yellow, please. Yellow, pink, purple, and brown combined can't be blue. We've got charts, people. Britain, Germany, US, Australia, China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, all rank blue as their favorite color. You name it, blue rocks it. Blue is the official color of first place and the official color of winners. You win the race, you get a blue ribbon. It's the way it works. It's the way it's always worked, and everybody knows it. Blue is calm and collected. Blue is cool as ice. Blue is fast, and blue is deep. And if you think green owns eco-friendly, we'd like to remind you that Earth itself is called the blue planet for a reason. We've got royal blue, we've got navy blue, we've got the deep blue sea, and the wild blue yonder. And everybody knows that great ideas come from one place and one place only, and that is out of the blue. Yes, blue is true, and the truest blue of all just might be Pantone 280C, hex code 012169, the blue of Coldwell Banker. The blue that represents thinkers, deal makers, innovators, and doers, 91,000 strong, spanning 47 countries for 111 years. So welcome to the home of the true, welcome to the home of the blue, welcome to Coldwell Banker.
All right, so that was that ad. Hope something doesn't play again. Sorry. Let me kill YouTube so it doesn't start doing weird things as YouTube does. Pretty cool video, and as you may have noticed, it's kind of geared towards agents, like people that are thinking about Coldwell Banker. This is why you should be part of Blue. You could probably use this as an agent for a client if you thought you had a purpose for it. I don't actually picture that, but you all are more creative than I am. All I'm saying is that there's a lot of stuff in the Coldwell Banker archives on their YouTube page and on CB Exchange that is always up for grabs, and you can use it. You can post it to your Facebook, generate traffic that way. They do pretty cutting edge stuff. I think their marketing and communications and social media is ahead of most real estate companies. So use it. Borrow their blogs off of Blue Matter and make them your own. Borrow these videos. Put them on your Facebook, generate some traffic and activity, and that's part of the name of the game. Okay? One other thing I wanted to show, speaking of social media. Liz, do you have a question?
Yeah, on script, a little off. Where can an agent access previous property videos, like from their CB2 packages? I have somebody asking, and I don't know how to direct them.
Okay, so not only does Coldwell Banker have a YouTube page, but Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties has its own YouTube channel. And anything that we generate as a company goes onto that. So I will, when I send out the recording, I'll send the link to that page so that, and then you have to do a little hunting and pecking, maybe type in the address from there. But I think all of our property videos live on there. And Shawnee, if you have other thoughts or corrections, you can let me know. Hey, there's Jay, brand new to the company. Nice to have you, Jay. Good to see you using this technology. Yeah, there it is. And he's even lowering it a little bit. Hey, don't feel bad. It took Robert 7 weeks to figure out how to move his camera so that it was more than just his forehead showing. So, and now look at Robert. Now it's the God-freaking father. Look at that. Hey. This is a family show, Robert. Be careful there. So speaking of social media, here's something one of our agents did that I'm not astounded because she's just super bright and creative, but did you know you can, on your business page, did you know that you can put video on your photo banner? That instead of a static photo as your banner, you can put video, and the video can even have sound. Take a look at this real quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but Pam Colesworthy, hats off to you, hair off to you, whatever. And I want to show you what she did yesterday. So, okay, just real quick. Here's her business page. Don't do this on your personal page because that's ridiculous. You need to have a business page. And she did this. So when someone comes to her page,
Sun Valley, Idaho. I moved here 25 years ago for the quality of life, and I want to tell you.
all right, and that just goes. So you're on there, and it just goes, and someone starts talking to you. Now you're going to think, well, that's annoying. I don't, but that's where we are. It's 2018, and websites talk to you. How do you do this? Figure it out. Maybe we'll do a tech talk on it. But you can put video on your Facebook banner photo, which I think I knew. I heard that at Gen Blue, and Tom Ferry challenged someone to go out and do it, and he was going to buy him a race car or something. I couldn't figure it out, and then Christi and I started walking around town. Next thing you know, I was not worried about Facebook videos. We were just enjoying the lights, right, Christi? So I'd forgotten about it, and here's Pam putting it on there. So see if you can do it. Experiment with it. Nothing sticks until you say save. So give it a shot. It's pretty cool. So nice job, Pam. Nice job, Coldwell Banker, with that video, so on and so forth. Okay. Lots of good stuff happening here in Sun Valley, and I think all the offices are pretty busy based on what I'm looking at with transactions and stuff. So a good start to 2018. Tom Ferry sent out a video that said we're already 5% through the year, which just about made me cry. But almost all of you have done business plans. Hopefully you are where you thought you would be after a few weeks into 2018. And so looks good from my end when I look at all the stuff. So nice job. Here's what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about handling objections. Because all of you as agents, whether you're brand new or whether you've been in the business for a while, a lot of your time is spent trying to get clients to reduce the objections that they have. And the more practice you have with this, and the more scripted you are, and the more natural you sound, because you're so scripted and have done so much practice, the more often you're going to get your client to say yes, or to say, I'm ready to sign, or what have you. Our special guest, Christi Reese, who has a lot of practice in this, obviously, I think she closed 150 deals last year, so obviously she's handled some objections. She's here to help us a little bit, but all of you have done this, whether you're brand new or not. And so we'll do a little bit of role playing. We'll do a little bit of best practice. maybe a little bit of critique about how people handle some of these things, what to say, what not to say, how to use your hands, where to put them, what to be doing with your body language, because 50% of what we take in is physical. Only about a quarter of what we take in is the words themselves. I'm going to mute a couple people here. Don't take offense to it, but all right. So the two topics we're going to discuss today with regards to objections are the most obvious one probably is commission. I think everybody runs into that from time to time. And then the second one has happened here a lot in Sun Valley in the last year because we brought in a number of agents from another company. And that objection is, you know, I really like working with you, but I'm not sure I want to work with your brokerage. I have affiliation, or I like another company better, even though I like you. So those are the two things we're going to tackle here in the next 30 minutes or so. And then if there are other ones that are really common, we can either tackle those or we can do this again, because you can never get enough practice handling objections and working through these things, and stuff is always coming up. How quickly can you respond to it? How accurately and authentically, and can you get them to turn the corner and join you on the good side? So that's the plan. We're going to do commissions first. Okay, standard industry commission here in Sun Valley anyway is 3% per side. So 6% of the sale price goes to the agent's commissions, 3% on the buyer side, 3% on the listing side. That's pretty standard here. Is that the same? Are there any markets where it's different? Is there an 8% or a 5% out there? No, 6% is, I think, industry standard across the board. Okay, so that's going to be our starting place. We are going to assume, and what we want as administrators and as offices and as agents is everybody to be holding to their 3%. Not because we're money grubbers, but hey, this is your business, this is your living. I hope you, and you're good at what you do, so I hope you want to get that 3% and aren't going to just bend right away. So here's how we're going to tackle the objection to the 3%. Okay. Christi, I'm going to put you off for a minute, even though I asked you to be on here, but I want you to be sort of our critique here. Okay. So I'm going to run through this with, let's see, Mr. Almond. Okay. He's been in business for about a year and has 12 or 13 deals under his belt already. A great first year. He's obviously handled some objections. So Don, unmute yourself. If you can do that. Okay, great. And I'm going to be the client and you're going to be the agent. Okay. And you are trying to get me to list my property with you. Okay. So I am the listing, the seller, and you want to represent me and my home. Okay. All right, so here we go. This is no longer Derek. I'm a client, so I'm a little bit of a. Okay, Don, I really like your listing presentation. All the things you present. It looks like your company does a lot of stuff. I like it. We bought this home, and the list price we're talking about, it's not quite as high as I was hoping. And you've shown me all the marketing stuff and the comps. I get it, but I just don't think we can do the 3%. I would love to sign you on, but we have to go at 2.5% commission. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep looking for another agent.
Well, Derek, we have to look at what the marketing packages provide to you, and all those things cost money, and the discount brokers are not going to be able to provide those services to you like Coldwell Banker can. And it will, in the end, come back and make you more money on your sale.
So wait a second. What's going to make me more money? Going with the discount broker or paying more to you?
With Coldwell Banker.
Okay. So, but like I'd be saving money in the commission. I guess I don't understand how I'm going to get more money by paying you more. That doesn't make sense to me, Don.
Well, in the Grand Junction market, Coldwell Banker averages 10% more in sales price than the competitors. So if you increase your sales price by 10%, you're going to make more than what you save on that commission discount.
Okay. So the 0.5% I would be saving by not paying you, I would make up for it in how much you can help me sell it for. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now it's me, Derek, again. Don, thanks a lot. You can stay unmuted so you can rebut anything that Christi throws at you. handle her objections, let's say. Christi, you've been through a few of these. I don't want you to grade my performance other than the shiny head. So what do you think about how Don handled this objection?
I thought it was good. Don obviously knows his stats. He's got some good information. I like the fact that he brought up that the discount brokerage difference, that, you know, we're not a discount brokerage and they can't offer the same services. I would just say the only thing that I thought needed work was just the very beginning, you know, that you started off, and I know you're on video in front of a bunch of people, right? But you started off with kind of slow, like you didn't feel that confident about what you were about to say. And I think if you just open really strong there, it's going to be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Don, nice job. My thought about your opening, any scripting books you read or manuals about communication, you do want to try to let the speaker know that you've heard them, right? And sort of maybe repeat what they said. So instead of the pause, you could say, hey, I totally understand where you're coming from. Like give their viewpoint some credence, so you don't just dismiss it out of hand. And Don, you didn't do that at all. But the pause did make me think, wait, don't, it put me in the driver's seat. What we talked about yesterday in my teaching thing here in Sun Valley is like, you want to end up in the driver's seat. And I definitely think Don did. But when the objection comes, that's the client trying to take over the drivership and put you in the back seat. Christi?
Well, and I think when you respond right away with a thank you for bringing that up, I'm glad that we're going to get to talk about commission, and I'm happy to address your concerns. It kind of gives you that break in between them asking for a commission reduction and you starting in with that language right away. Kind of that bridge.
Yeah, and you're showing them respect. You're not dismissing it. And again, Don, you didn't do that at all. But you don't want to show frustration or anything like that because that keeps you in the back seat. So, acknowledgement of what they said, you get it, and here's why I am worth 3%. And so, what Don did, I think he did a nice job of combining his knowledge of the market as well as his company. So he's bringing two things to the argument. He's bringing his expertise, his authority, as well as what his company provides, which is fantastic. Okay, Don, any other thoughts? How did you feel like you did? Did you pit out there a little bit?
Well, you know, I felt the pause at the beginning. However, I think it smoothed out as I went on.
Yeah. And you've dealt with this objection before, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every
So,
time.
and that marketing stuff is a good thing. Be careful. In my role plays yesterday, a couple people said, our marketing program is great. We offer the awesome packages for less money, whatever. Stay out of that, because then that even gives me more credence, more reason to ask for less, because you're spending less on the marketing because of the great things that CV 1, 2, and 3s do for you. So I'm glad you didn't go there. We had to correct that behavior a little bit yesterday. Don, you can mute yourself. Marian, I know you're new to the company, but you're not new to real estate, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if we trial by fire here? The CBTP here. Yeah, you're part of the company. Here we go. Can we run this with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll probably do one more. So if you're sitting there and haven't been called on yet, try to think of a couple other. Don't just replicate Don's MO. Try to think of a couple other reasons that you could get in the driver's seat with this objection. So, Marian, again, I'm going to play the agent, or the client, and you will play in real life the agent. So, I am now the buyer, though. Okay, you're the buyer's agent. Okay, Marian, I really like a couple of the homes you've shown us, and I don't know about the pricing and everything. I think we could make this work if you were willing to reduce your commission, because like my wife and I here, she's down at the end of the table for a reason, but we've had a couple of bad deals with real estate, and I'll be honest with you, I think you guys make too much money for walking me around and showing me what I could find on my own. And so I know you've shown us this, and we're obliged to you, but we'd like you to reduce your commission before we say, yes, we're going to buy this house. Because we can walk and we can probably do this on our own. So would you be willing to reduce our commission to get this deal done, Marian?
Well, first, let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. As far as commission goes, it's something the seller pays. You pay for the lending fees. So let's talk numbers. Let's break it down. But this is how I make my living. I don't do this for practice. So tell me what your concerns are, and let's work this out. But probably, it's just not something that I'm interested in. But I'm here to do my job, and if I do my job right, you're probably going to still buy this place for what you really want to do. So let's see what you want to do. Let's get it for you the way that you want it, and go from there.
Right, but seriously, Marian, don't you think that real estate, like you guys, 3%? I mean,
I'd be happy to break it down for you. And anytime I've ever broken it down for people, they.
Okay, so this house we're looking at is we're ready. We could pay $400,000 for this, which my math tells me that would be like $12,000 in your pocket for showing me
Yeah, but it's not really $12,000 in my pocket. So let's break it down. I'm not afraid to share with them what I make and what I do for them. But most importantly, I explain the process of what I do, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the process is from beginning to end, where that money comes into play.
Okay. All right. Now it's me, Derek, again. Thanks, Marian. Good job with that. And Christi will rely on you, but anyone else that has any constructive criticism, because we want to build up and not say blah, blah, blah about my performance. And Marian, that was great. So Christi, that was a little bit of a different scenario from the other end, and Marian certainly has a different approach. What are your thoughts?
Again, I thought she brought up some really good points, and I think I would stress a little bit more that that transaction to closing portion is such a big part of what we do. And so it's not just showing a few houses. It really is start to finish, and I'm there on the side the whole way. But I also have used a script that talks about, you're not just paying for the work that we do together for these couple of months that we're going to work together, but for my vast knowledge and experience, all the classes that I've taken, all of the houses that I've closed, and all of the transactions that I've been through. So, I have a lot of experience to offer you, and that is worth a lot in my mind to get you to the closing table the right way.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Christi. And you heard Christi mention it. Like here's a very successful agent in our Grand Junction office. I'll say our highest producing team here in Sun Valley. Guess what they do all the time? Guess what they do all the time? They practice these scripts. There are scripts available. I'll attach a couple in the email I send out after this. But Christi didn't get here because she belongs to clubs. She practices this stuff with her team. The more you practice this stuff, the more options you have for whatever their objection is, the better percentage of closings you're gonna have. Notice in the buyer's one, Marian focused more on her than on the company, and I think that makes sense. If you're talking to a listing who has objections about your commission, you're going to be also talking about the company and what they're going to bring to the transaction. Whereas on the buyer side, am I right? It's a little bit more agent focused, and so Marian's approach was a little bit more about herself and less about the company, which makes perfect sense to me. So, any other thoughts? Yeah, sorry.
Can I add something? This is Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Of course.
What I do with my buyers as well is before I actually take them to show homes, I take them into the office and sit down with them, and I have a buyer's presentation that goes over exactly what I do for them throughout the entire process. So I'm building up my worth at that point. If in the event afterwards they were to come up and say that same thing, I would say, well, I understand your concern. I understand that what's most important for you is to get the most amount of value for your money in purchasing this. And as as we went through our buyer presentation before, you can see that I do add a lot of value throughout the entire process, as well as I've shown you examples of my negotiating skills, like something along those lines. And I think that's important to explain to the buyers first up exactly the whole process of buying, what your value is before you even take them to show homes.
That's great, Kristen. It's a great corrective, because that was the second one, especially, was a little bit of a cheat, because hopefully by the time you're out showing homes, you've had those discussions about what your commitment level as the agent is and what your expectation is, and that it's not going to be down the road after you've already done all this work that you have this conversation, because then you could be really in the back seat. So make that stuff clear up front. No surprises, no surprises, no surprises. And as you get better at this, you're going to find yourself in the driver's seat way more often. Christy, you were going to interrupt? Just kidding.
No, I raised my hand. I think it's important too, when you've got one of those clients that continues to harp on you guys make too much money, to let them know that we're one of the few industries that doesn't get paid until our job is fully complete. I mean, we're taking a lot of risk. We're all working for free until closing. And so I will agree with people that we get paid a lot, but it's because we're taking on so much risk.
Yeah. So Christy's got the risk piece of it. She's got all the time I put it in my 20 years. You're paying for all of that. You're not just paying for the 2 months. That's great. Both Kristen and Christy kind of alluded to it, but Kristen started to talk about this. What's it going to tell you, Mr. Seller, if we're here negotiating and I settle right away? What message is that sending to you about my negotiating skills when it comes time to negotiate the sales price of your home? You want me in your corner because I'm going to be firm and solid and fair. And right now I'm going to be firm and solid and fair with my commission, which is 3%. And you're going to thank me at the end of this, because I'm going to use the same approach when that agent brings an offer that we don't think is quite up to snuff. Lots and lots of things here. So I'm going to, again, I'll attach some scripts to the video recording email I send out. But a bunch of scripts are only good if you practice them and inhale them and can spit them out authentically at the drop of a hat. One other thing that came up in yesterday's that I really liked was
Right now I'm muted and no photos, so they don't know that I'm doing something.
No, you're not muted, whoever that is. So just be proud of what you do, and all of you have spoken to that have said anything, is, you're worth it. And there is that adage that, you get what you pay for. And if you're willing to pay someone 2.5%, you're going to get less service. That's all there is to it. So great stuff there. Yes, ma'am.
I can't remember where I heard this, if I was at Tom Ferry or something, but I think this is one of the best lines I've heard in a long time. If someone says, well, you know what, your competitor is willing to do it for 2.5%, you answer with, well, they know their value better than I do.
Excellent. Yeah, that was, I heard that at the Global Luxury thing at Gen Blue, I think, where I heard that.
Right, that was so good.
So if they have someone, and you don't want to disparage anyone else, but if they bring it up, it's, well, they know their value better than I would. And so that not only pokes a hole in their commission, but it also bolsters why you're asking for 3, because you know your value, okay? Anyone else want to have a go at the commission, or should we move on to, I really like you, but I prefer a different brokerage?
I'm happy to give you my short speech on listing commission.
Excellent. That's fantastic. I was hoping you'd say that. I don't want to use and abuse Christy Reese, but here she is. So, yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of different ones, and it depends on what the seller's main concerns are, but this one has worked really well for me in the past. It's pretty short and sweet.
Okay.
Derek, thank you so much. I appreciate you asking about commissions, and I know that 6% adds up to quite a bit. And I want you to know that I appreciate your continued trust in business, but I found that I need to earn 3% fee to run my business and do the kind of marketing that I think sets my listings apart and helps them sell faster and for more money. And you can offer whatever you'd like to the buyer side, but I suggest 3% for a total of 6%.
So why would I offer 3% to that side? I mean, you're the one working for me. Why can't I try to offer 2 to that side, Christy?
You sure could, but we want to give your home every opportunity to sell. And unfortunately, there are realtors out there that won't show your home if the commission is less than 3% on the buy side.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a no-brainer. I just think you've got to do it.
Okay. You're
going to get more exposure and more showings.
Okay. And I'm so glad you mentioned that script, Christy, because that was the other piece that came up yesterday that I hadn't really thought of, is that if you sign on for a 2.5%, that's public record. That's in the MLS, correct? Like, agents out there can see what the commission is going to be. And you are going to get fewer showings. You're going to get less action. Someone's phone, please.
Sorry.
You're going to get less action if you are at 2.5%. And that's bad for you and it's bad for your seller. Don't be afraid to tell your seller, if you go at 2.5% with another agent, you're going to get fewer showings because agents all through our MLS won't show homes that are not at the 3%.
So I will say that I've gotten caught on that, you know, you can offer whatever you want. Yeah. I mean, I have taken a couple listings at 2.5 on the buy side lately because I just couldn't talk them out of that. So I think I'm going to change that part of the script a little bit. But I'm really confident about saying that, you know, I've learned that it takes me 3% to run my business after I pay all my fees and all my marketing. That's what I need.
Yeah.
And I don't negotiate that.
Right. And Marian had started to talk about that. Like, I'd be happy to break down for you what my 3% really looks like, because it's not. You know, it's probably closer to 2.5, 2.6, depending on what you've put into it from a marketing standpoint. But when you say this is my business, you don't want discounted service. You want premium service, and that's what I deliver, and that's why I'm worth the 3%. Just make sure that you are always bolstering you and your company and how you do your business. Because you are successful, you're with a successful company, and it's worth the price, that the commission. So excellent stuff. Let's shift gears. I see a couple new people have joined us. Hi, Doug and Darlene. The D's have arrived. Excellent. That's what I always used to say about when I get my report card too. Anyway, we're going to jump to the next one, which is how do you handle the objection of maybe you've just changed brokerages, okay? And again, in Sun Valley, we talked about this one because it's come up a little bit because we've had a number of people join us from a couple other companies. So I'd love working with you, but I don't think I can work. I don't want to work with this brokerage because I really like what this other brokerage brings to the table, okay? So, Mr. Shelley, you are kind of in that situation, am I correct? Hold on.
Derek, you are breaking up. I'm sorry, I've been having an unstable connection.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit too. And I thought that was hard to do, but I guess not. Okay, so that's a song. So let's go, Kristen. Westland, are you with us still?
I'm here.
Okay, can you be the agent and I will be the wishy-washy client, and we're gonna just see what it sounds like to have someone handle this objection of brokerages, okay? You ready?
Okay.
Okay, now we're at a little disadvantage because we don't see body language or eyebrows or foreheads or anything like that because Kristen's not on camera, but so we'll just focus more on the words here. But so Kristen, you know, you've been great, and I really like your approach to sales because it hasn't felt pushy or anything. But I'm a little concerned that your company's performance in the local market is it's not as strong as I'd like to see. And I know a couple of agents at wow. Thank you. I know a couple of agents at Bray, and I'm on good terms with them. And I really see that company is just taking off, and I want to hitch my wagon to them. So I don't know. What can you tell me? Because I think we're going to go with a different company.
Well, you know, Derek, I understand. And what I actually hear you saying is that you need to make sure that you're 100% confident and comfortable with the agent and the company that you're choosing. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like you, but I want to feel like the company is also going to make it, which is not my home.
Absolutely. Now, are you aware that, and this is pretty much throughout real estate, the person that actually does the hands-on marketing and actually gets your home sold, it really has more to do with the individual agent than the actual company behind them. Are you aware of that?
Well, all I know is I drive around and I see signs, and the more signs to me suggest a company that's really busy and getting a lot of houses sold because they've got a lot of listings. So yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, but I don't know. Can your company deliver what this other company is doing right now?
Well, absolutely. And we've been through our presentation. I've showed you exactly all of the different marketing that I do for myself. I pay for it for myself along with my company's marketing. And I've shown you the track record that actually shows that the sales that I've done, the list price to sales price, which is higher than the average within the area. You remember going through that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've seen my track record, you've seen the marketing that's been done. You can see how I get the homes sold that I list in a very timely manner and for top dollar. And that's really what you want, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we just go ahead and move forward, Derek, and go ahead and sign the contract so I can actually get started tomorrow, marketing your home, doing that targeted marketing to the buyers that are looking for your home so we can get it sold right away. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and sign the contract?
Okay. Okay, excellent. Kristen, thanks. Super comfortable, super composed. Christi?
Yeah, I thought it was great. She really gave their own language back to them. She reaffirmed a number of times that they had already gone over this. Do you remember, she got their affirmation? Oh yes, we talked about this before. I thought she answered the objections really well. I think she could add some information about Coldwell Banker International and the power of the company that we have behind us, not only locally, but internationally. Because I've been using that a lot. Coldwell Banker is the most recognized name in real estate, and we're doing a great job.
It was hard for me because honestly, I usually have more people say that they see our signs and not Blaze. So normally I would just go back and say, well, you've seen all of our signs around as well. Coldwell Banker has a huge amount of the market share where I would have gone into that, but it kind of caught me off guard because I was trying to put myself in a position that we were a smaller brokerage.
Right. And truth be told, Kristen, even if it's the case, and I think it is, that Coldwell Banker has more signs, if a client says, I see more blah signs, you can't really, I wouldn't think you can get in an argument about that because you're not going to go out and count signs. If that's their reality and that's what they're bringing to it, well, just deal with the objection and don't try to, get in a contest. I didn't want to say the full term. So I thought you handled that really well. What are your thoughts, folks out there? You all are salespeople, and the bottom line is to get the bottom line signed. So Kristen's using a tactic that is in a lot of scripts at the end. What was she doing there? Almost all of you are on mute, but if you remember what she did at the end to try to move this forward, what language did she use a couple times?
Well, she asked them to sign the listing agreement. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and she said it a couple times, and if we could see her, I'm sure she would have been, saying here, and here's the pen, and pointing and nodding her head, pointing to it, because those are all physical cues that are going to get someone else to do what you want when you are nodding your head and preparing the dough for them, so to speak. Any thoughts about that approach? Because, again, it's in most script books. How did that feel? How did it sound? Do you use it? Is it successful for you, et cetera? Anyone? Of saying, let's move forward, and then moving in, even though they just had an objection, moving right into, let's go ahead and sign and get this going.
I personally, Derek, I always bring a written copy, even though most things are, obviously electronic, but to the listing appointment, I bring an actual printed copy.
Yeah.
And I will ask several times, and I've had a couple of times where they don't sign, and I've even done the old script thing. Well, if they say, I just really want to think about it, I just have to think overnight about it, and I can't get them around it, I'll say, well, why don't we just go ahead, you can sign it, you can hold on to the copy yourself and keep it overnight, and I'll call you in the morning, and then you can go ahead and say, hey, let's go ahead and get started, or you can just go ahead and rip it up. Either one is okay, and I haven't had them rip it up yet.
Excellent.
That's great.
So there's a little bit pressure being applied, but it's soft pressure, and it's pressure that you could back out of, so that's pretty helpful. Part of this, these things are all situational dependent. Who is the client? How well do you know them? Are they going to balk at being having a contract put in front of them? Because some buyers, some clients will. And you have to be good enough at reading their personality, I think, of knowing when the right time to push and have a little pressure is, and when the right time to to back away is. But Kristen's strategy there is really useful, I think, of saying, hey, you can sign this, and until you give it to me, it doesn't mean anything. But actually seeing them sign it as opposed to sending them a document, and who knows, they're going to get cold feet at home when they aren't faced with you. And it's not like you're pressuring them into doing something they don't want to do. You're meeting with them, for goodness sakes. You're already 80% of the way through the tunnel. So you're not being, I don't think, unfair or too pushy. You're already in the game. So don't be afraid to have that contract there. So let's go ahead and sign it. Use the language of suggestion. Lead them a little bit, especially newer clients to the industry, that sort of thing. Okay, a couple things to know about numbers. Kristen was talking about, or I think Christi was mentioning the Coldwell Banker power. We sell more real estate than anyone in the world. $172 billion of real estate was sold under the Coldwell Banker banner in 2016. We sell, if you're dealing with a big listing, we sell more luxury real estate than any company in the world. $129 million a day in luxury sales by Coldwell Banker agents. We have 90,000 agents worldwide. All these numbers, do they matter for a small, do they matter in Craig, Judy? Do they matter in Bozeman? Well, yeah, they do, because the big stuff trickles down to the little stuff. So finding that balance of what am I really good at and what is best about me, and how am I using my brand to make me even better? Find that sweet spot of not giving too much to the brand and not enough to yourself, and not giving too much to yourself and not enough to the brand. There is a sweet spot, and make sure you can talk to all of that. All those numbers that I quoted, including the fact that Coldwell Banker has more impressions than any other real estate company, are in your listing presentations that you all get 5 of each year, and they're about to bring around the new ones at the Marketing Roadshow. So if you're saying, where do you get those numbers? I'm going to tell you, I get them from the same book you all have in your possession. So make sure you know those listing presentations and don't have to turn to the page to, well, what is that number? We're somewhere. No, know it up here so you can deliver it authentically and with authority. Mr. Burns. Ned, there? Are you tending to your ill wife? Hope she's okay.
I'm there. You got me?
Got you, Ned. Thanks. Ned's an agent in Sun Valley who actually, this comes up. He joined us from Sotheby's back in the summer, and had been with Sotheby's for a couple years and decided to join us. So the few Sotheby's agents we have that concern, because Sotheby's is the market leader in Sun Valley, hopefully not for long, but in resort markets, they tend to have quite a bit of oomph and more allegiance apparently than you would think. A lot of agents do not want to make a move from a company like Sotheby's in the resort market because they feel like all their clients are going to disappear. Not true, but there's that perception. And so, Ned, we're going to have you handle this objection, okay? Again, we can't see Ned, so and that's a good thing. He's probably hiding behind his beard as we speak. At any rate, we will ask him a couple questions and just see how he does. And Christi's been awesome, but I would love feedback from others, things we hear and things you like, things you could have done, et cetera, et cetera. So, Ned, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Ned, we worked together at your former brokerage, and you did such a great job. And, I really think that you brought a lot to it, but I also think that we probably wouldn't have gotten that sold if we weren't at your former brokerage. The other agent was a Sotheby's agent, the buyer's agent, and so it just felt like that in-house thing made the thing happen. So I guess you've switched, and I'm kind of leaning towards staying with the brokerage that did such a good job of selling my home, 18 months ago. So I don't know.
Well, after a lot of thought, I was very happy at Sotheby's. It was a great opportunity for me to learn a lot, and I decided to come to Coldwell Banker to really take my business to the next level. The support staff that I have at Coldwell Banker provides such great opportunity for me to not focus on the small stuff and to be able to be out in front of the people who really want to buy your home right now. That's what I want to focus on. I want to find somebody that wants to buy your home. And, across the street, they still have a lot of kind of minute details that they have to focus on, and I can kind of lean on my staff and they will take up that slack and let me do the things that I need to do.
So you think that you, even in a different jersey or different color blue, because I think you're both blue, you don't have any concerns that you're going to have a more difficult time working with an agent from that office to sell the home?
Absolutely not. We still have great working relationships with everybody over there. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to get deals done. And it doesn't really matter from a buying side perspective what the color that sign is in the driveway. If it's a good house and it's priced right, we're going to get it done.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I appreciate you sharing with me why, part of your story, and I get that. And I really appreciate you calling out the support you have in the Sun Valley office, because that's just for me. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ned. That was good. Robert or Doug or Dylan or Darlene or Josh or anyone that we haven't really heard from. Nate, y'all in Margaret's timeout room, any thoughts about Ned's delivery there? Doug hated Ned, apparently.
Clearly, I was perfect. Everybody's speechless.
Yeah. That's kind of how
Nice job, Ned.
Okay. Ned. Woo. Go Suns. Okay, Christy.
Again, I thought it was great. This is really good for me because I have the scripts that I use over and over again, and I'm learning some new things from you guys. And I have, I've run up against that a little bit, just kind of that, why did you move? And I thought he did a really great job of addressing the fact that he chose this company for a reason, and that was to elevate his business. And I think that that's what sellers and buyers really want to hear, that it's you made a choice because your business is going to be better. And, I'm going to be more equipped to help sell your home or help find you a home because of the company that I work with. And you're going to experience that great level of service.
Yeah, and so bringing that personal story in, and Marian, you started it off really when you were talking about your personal take on the take. Use yourself, use your personal story, because these are all relationships. None of us are in markets that are so drastically busy that it's just like bam, 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 bam. This isn't, Chicago or Minneapolis, whatever. So you're developing relationships. The more they know about you and feel like you're a person and not just an agent trying to, make the most money that you can, the better chance you're going to have of not only getting them to say yes this time, but of securing their business down the road, because they're going to remember who you are, not just what you did for them, and that's important. So, Ned, nice job with that. I want to make sure everybody, and I've shown this a couple times now, fan clubs, but I can't get enough of it. We have momentum. No matter what office you're in right now, we are up. 2016 over 2017. Look at that. Bozeman didn't even do a sale in 2016 until they joined us. Then they did 180. Vail, up. Craig, up. CBDP, CCP, FR, up. 238%. Use these numbers, folks. Grand Junction, up. 37% in sales, 36% in volume. Steamboat, up in volume. The commercial side. Montrose, up. Steamboat, up. Sun Valley, up. Company, up. 74%. in volume, 78% in sales. And if you take out Bozeman and Montrose, we're still up 40%. This is good stuff. And it's not always about the numbers, but when they're like, what about that other broker? Look, dude, we have momentum right now. Our fire is burning real bright. You sign on with us, and Coldwell Banker is making things happen. And here are the numbers. Here's what our office did last year. We're up 88%, whatever. People want to sign with winners. We are winners. Use that stuff. Don't be afraid to use it. Don't have it on your shirt or anything like that. But use those numbers to your advantage to handle these objections. Okay? Like Don started us off with that. He used a number. People love numbers. They respond to numbers. Make sure they're as accurate as you can make them. But he started out by saying, we're 10% above average sale price. Now, if you want to drill that down, that's going to triple the 0.5% that you're going to save by offering a lower commission. Quadruple, I don't even know. I just know it's going to be more. When you use numbers, people can't dance around numbers. They are the real thing. Marian said, you want to draw this out? I'll show you exactly what this is going to look like. So the $12,000 you think I'm going to make is really about $8,500. Oh, okay. So numbers are really, really powerful in all of these things, in all of your business. That's why I spend a lot of time going over numbers and sharing things like that with you, because numbers stick. I bet you could all remember how much business Coldwell Banker did in 2016, even though I said it 7 minutes ago. How many billions of dollars did they sell in 2016?
153 billion?
Oh, that's pretty close. It's in the ballpark. 172 billion. Like I say, everybody remembers numbers. Okay. That's pretty much what I wanted to do today. I think, like, to hear Christi say that she's getting something out of this, probably for the first time in fan club history, makes me feel really good. And if our highest producing team in the whole company is getting something out of this, I hope you did too. We'll probably do a couple of these, not back to back to back to back, but there are certainly more objections out there. And so this stuff is helpful. If you watch this and you think, oh, that was great, and then you don't practice it, well, then you just missed an opportunity. Find a buddy in your office. Go into Margaret's timeout room and role play this stuff. Get the scripts. You'll get them in my email. Practice them. You heard Christi. She could talk this stuff all day, and guess what? She sounds authentic every single time because she has internalized them, and then she can play them the way she wants. It's like being a piano player. Learn the notes, boom, 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 over and over and over, so that you can ad-lib and make it sound like yours. And that's the whole key here.
I still feel like I could use work, though, every day. Like, I mean, I always want to practice.
Yeah, so, hey, if you're in the Grand Junction office, knock on Christi's door. Hey, once a month, once a week, whatever, can we spend 15 minutes doing this? It's only going to help your business. And then like yesterday and even today for Christi, we came up with stuff like, oh, geez, I never even thought of that. It's not in any script book, but God, that sounded good. So lots and lots of good stuff. So, hey, thanks everybody. This is the last fan club of January, and so we'll be moving into some other stuff from February, but I really appreciate your attention and participation. And again, I showed those numbers. They're not lying. Keep up the great, great work and finish strong this month, and let's make sure that all the markets know that Coldwell Banker in 2018 is as good as we were in 2017, if not better. All right? Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Derek. Bye.